All right, everyone, welcome in. Bryce Gelman here today. Going to be discussing the Knicks. We're going to be talking about Tyler Kolek, the news, of course, from the other day, with Tyler Kolek now set to join the Knicks rotation in being the backup point guard for Jalen Brunson. About a month ago, I don't think anyone expected that, but now it's become reality after what we've seen from Tyler Kolek in the Summer League. Clearly, the Knicks brass are high on him. He will be entering the rotation. That leaves a little bit more of a gray area and a question mark as to what the role for Deuce McBride is going to be and whether or not Josh Hart is going to have to play the 4 again, and is DiVincenzo going to play the 3? We're going to answer all those questions. We're going to discuss them, the possibilities with the Knicks starting lineup and their bench unit as well. And then we're also going to discuss a potential, and this is I'm speculating here. I'm not saying there's a chance that this can happen. We are also going to discuss the possibility that Julius Randle gets traded from the Knicks this offseason. We're going to discuss some potential options the Knicks could go out and trade for and how I feel about each. Not saying there's a possibility that's going to happen. Personally, if I were running the Knicks, I've talked about it a bunch before, I'd keep Randle, see what you have with the fit with the 4 Villanova guys alongside Julius Randle, and you got to see what you have, considering the fact that the Knicks were unbelievable in that stretch during the month of January last year, where they went 14-2, and Julius Randle was playing some of the best basketball that we've seen him play with the Knicks. And again, I just don't feel like the trade value right now is where the Knicks want it to be in terms of Randle and who else they're looking for. And they're going to have to attach picks and maybe Deuce McBride as well. I just don't think it makes sense. So all that remains to be seen, but we're going to talk about it a little bit later. We're going to start here with Tyler Kolek. So 2 days ago, it was reported, I think probably by Ian Begley, that Tyler Kolek is now projected to be the Knicks' backup point guard behind Jalen Brunson. And again, a month ago, if you told me that, I would have said that you're crazy. I would have said there's absolutely no chance that automatically, no matter how good Tyler Kolek plays in the Summer League, that he'd vault in front of both Cam Payne and Deuce McBride in the bench rotation. And I'm not saying that Deuce McBride is now relegated to the bench and to Tarrytown and to the Westchester Knicks, but it becomes a little bit more questionable with where Deuce McBride fits in with this team now that there's this logjam at the guard position. Dante DiVincenzo and Josh Hart could start on the majority of teams in the NBA. They are unbelievable bench options. I think Deuce McBride is also one of the best bench options, but as an undersized guard who doesn't possess the abilities, that doesn't possess the capability to run the offense in the way the Knicks want, it makes it a little tough for him. And it's unfortunate because the Knicks have him under contract for the next 3 years for $13 million total, one of the best bargain deals in the NBA. But part of giving him that deal and part of shopping him in potential trade talks or for giving up Randall or Mitch or whoever it was, this entire offseason, it makes it a lot easier because you have this trade piece, you have this trade chip to use where there's value to the type of player that Deuce McBride is, the fact that he could guard your best player 94 feet the entire way. He also can match up against guys of bigger size because of his length and because of his quickness with his feet. So there's a lot of value with Deuce McBride that doesn't just lie underneath his contract, his unbelievably team-friendly contract. It's also just the fact that he's a really good basketball player. So when you look at what this rotation looks like, when you look at the potential options, first off, you have to answer the question of what's going on with Precious Achiuwa. Are the Knicks bringing him back? Are the Knicks letting him go? The fact that he has yet to sign makes me feel like he's waiting on the Knicks to give him that offer. That he wants. I'm back. I don't know. I just reset my router. I don't know what's going on. Somehow I'm getting the one bar coming up. I don't understand. I will never understand paying for Wi-Fi in New York City and it being this bad when I'm the only person in my apartment. That's another story for another day. Pathetic. Where were we? We're talking about Precious Achiuwa being a great backup option for the Knicks. But if Mitchell Robinson goes down with an injury, which is an inevitable possibility at this point in his career, do you realistically think that Precious Achiuwa could step into the 5 role and do a job like Isaiah Hartenstein did last year? Absolutely not. But do I think that he could be a serviceable backup? Yes, I do. But if the Knicks are serious about shoring up their rotation and ridding some of this depth in order to acquire some better players in the starting lineup or to attach a player and do a 2-for-1 deal with McBride and Julius Randle to another team, I don't know. I can't see how that makes sense. I really can't. Deuce McBride, I think that there's a lot of Knicks fans out there who feel this closeness and they feel this pull from Deuce McBride, the aura of Deuce McBride. He is just such a Knick. He is such a fan favorite. He's like Emmanuel Quickly. He's a guy that comes in, he's going to give it his all on a night in, night out basis. And that he possesses the abilities to be a solid bench piece on the Knicks. It's unfortunate now. Listen, this is a good problem to have. In life, you want good problems. Sometimes you have to make a hard decision, like the Knicks had to make with drafting Tyler Kolek. You get the guy, and then you deal with whatever comes later. So this isn't a bad thing for the Knicks going forward, the fact that they have to deal with this. But it is something that is interesting because going into the year, there are 10 guys. Again, this is if Precious Achiuwa signs in the dotted line with the Knicks to come back. There are 10 guys in the rotation. And Campaign, not in the rotation. But the Knicks just signed to the veterans minimum instead of signing a big to the veterans minimum. What the hell happens? What are the Knicks going to do with 10 guys? Do you play 10? Do you take some minutes away from Brunson? You take some minutes away from McHale and Anunoby and every one of the Knicks starters? That's what happens. Are you going to do that? If I'm Tom Thibodeau, and you know how Tom Thibodeau thinks, I'm not doing that. If I have no choice, I have no choice, and I end up doing it. I don't know. This is a good problem for the Knicks. This is we're not sitting here talking about the likelihood of the Knicks making the playoffs. We know they're going to make the playoffs. We know they're going to be a competitor in the Eastern Conference. This is all great. This is fine and dandy as comparative to what we have dealt with and we have struggled with for years as people who follow the Knicks. This situation in which Deuce McBride at the 2 and then DiVincenzo at the 3, Hart at the 4, and then Precious at the 5. I don't know how much that helps you in a game in, game out basis. I really don't. You have the depth, you have the pieces, you have Deuce McBride. He may not play. I wouldn't play him in this rotation. As good as Tyler Kolek looked, Tyler Kolek averaged 7 assists per game in the summer league on 1.4 turnovers a game. Shot 91% from the free throw line. Only 31% from 3. You'd like to see some better shooting stats out of Tyler Kolek. I feel like that will come with time. But what you could see from the get-go is this guy possesses the ability to control an offense. And it's something that Deuce McBride has struggled with since he came into the league. He could score. He could shoot. He could guard your best player on defense. He's an unbelievable two-way threat, especially on a 3-year, $13 million deal. Does he have the ability to run the offense like you need from a backup point guard? He does not. Objectively does not. So this shouldn't come as a surprise after you watch what Tyler Kolek was able to do, the efficiency, the comfortability that he showed on the floor with the top talent in both college and among rookies in the NBA. I know this isn't against some of the best talent in the NBA, but it is against guys who are all capable of making an NBA roster, which still says a lot. And again, we talked about this I talked about it last week. I recorded a video on Friday, didn't get it out before the Knicks Summer League game. I'm frustrated about it. That video will never see the light of day. But I digress. What I did discuss on that is what you look for in the Summer League. You're not looking for stats. You're not looking for three-pointers, but you're not looking for points per game, for rebounds per game. That's all not what signals a really good NBA player. What signals a really good NBA player is efficiency and how comfortable they look on the floor. Whether or not they make the right read, whether or not they take the ball to the basket when they should take the ball to the basket, whether or not they're knocking down open shots. That's all important. The other stuff is secondary. The points per game. Is Dwayne Washington Jr. an NBA talent? No. He averaged over 20 points per game, where he was putting up more than 20 points per game in some of those games for the Knicks. That says nothing to me. That shows me nothing. Tyler Kolek with the spin pass. I mean, just like he is. What else can I say? What else can we say about this Knicks front office? They have this knack of finding really good talent in the late first round and early second round. They've done it time and time again. There's a reason why they've traded out of their top 15 picks in recent years. They haven't had many, but they made that one deal with the Pistons for Duren, and they got that first-round pick heavily protected. They probably never will see that. It'll probably be two second-round picks. They made the trade for Duren, and they gave up Dang to the Thunder. They have done their due diligence when it comes to the guys at the bottom of the first round and early second round. And they have seen that staying in the lottery and trying to take someone there as opposed to trading down and gathering up assets, it has been a moot point and something that isn't worth attempting, especially when you have the ability to strike on draft talent like you have been striking in recent years. Deuce McBride is one of those guys. He's the last remaining guy from that era of Knicks basketball, the young Knicks, 2021, 22, 23, with RJ quickly Toppin. McBride is the last of that you could say, that short-lived era in Knicks history. He's the last of that mold. Tyler Kolek is the next generation. And man, I mean, if he has the opportunity to learn under one of the best point guards in the NBA, one of the top 10 players in the NBA, what an ideal situation this is for Tyler Kolek. If you're looking at it from a personal angle, he really lucked the F out coming to the Knicks organization, beating out Campaign and Deuce McBride, and becoming the backup point guard behind Jalen Brunson. Think about all the other places he could have gone to. He could have gone to Memphis behind Marcus Smart and Ja Morant. He could have, I can name all these different teams. He could have gone to OKC and not gotten any minutes. He goes to the Knicks, a championship contender. Everyone's chalking it up as, all right, he's a developmental guy. He's 23 years old, might I add. So the Knicks drafted him, expecting him to be ready for the NBA, if not this year, then next year. But a lot of people looked at it as like, all right, well, whatever, not a big deal. We'll see how he develops in the system, but it's a championship contender. There isn't that much wiggle room in terms of playing time. But look at what he's done. He's proved all the doubters wrong, and now he's in the Knicks rotation. What an ideal situation for Tyler Kolek. And it's deservedly so for him getting this honor. And it is an honor. It really is, on a championship team to sneak into rotation, especially with the depth the Knicks have at the guard position, and automatically get playing time. Pat yourself right on the back, Tyler Kolek. All right, another thing I wanted to talk about today, enough of the Kolek, enough of the McBride. I really hope the Knicks don't have to trade him, but it's looking increasingly likely as time goes on. And again, I hope they don't do anything until they see what they have in the regular season before they trade Deuce McBride. Another guy I really hope they don't trade, and I hope they hold on to and hope they reward his loyalty, is Julius Randle. And it's something that we have talked about time and time again, the value of Julius Randle. What he provides for the Knicks organization, what he provides for the other Knicks stars, the spacing, the ability to collapse an entire defense with one breakaway, with one blow-by of your opposing defender, the entire defense collapse, open shot. How many other guys in the NBA can boast that one thing? That no matter what is happening, the defense is always at least two or three guys have their eye on you. Giannis is another one of those guys. These 6'8" monsters. I know Giannis is a little bit taller than that, but these monsters who can get downhill fast, who get to the basket, who are physical. Julius Randle is a unicorn in the NBA. And the fact that he's also got the playmaking ability, the fact that he's a 25, 10, and 5, or 25, 9, and 5 guy. Those players don't grow on trees. They may not think, the Knicks, that this is a good fit. They may not think that Randle alongside the 4 Villanova guys with whoever else they have thrown in there, they may not think that that's the perfect fit. How can you possibly say that after what we witnessed in January? Again, 14-2. I'm going to keep mentioning it. It's okay. It's okay. You can relax that I'm going to continue mentioning this. I don't care. 14-2 in the month of January, and you're thinking about trading away Julius Randle at this time? At this juncture? I am not questioning the competence of the Knicks front office. I trust them wholeheartedly, as all of you should. There's a reason why they've continued to build and build correctly. There's a reason why we don't care that Leon Rose hasn't spoken to the media since 2021. It is what it is. We don't care because he makes the right move time and time again. So now I'm hearing all this stuff about Julius Randle potentially getting traded before the start of the season. The fact that Julius Randle isn't a good fit with this team. The fact that adding Mikal Bridges leaves a little bit more of a gray area for what Julius Randle provides for this organization. Get a grip. I don't believe the media on this. If the Knicks are going to trade Randle, they're going to let him play alongside some of these players. I mean, listen, what we saw with OG Anunoby in that month, that Julius Randle was healthy, was an unbelievable sign. I just had the stats up. I brought them. I clicked out of it. I'm sorry. I apologize. But OG Anunoby, and also you don't even need me to bring up stats to tell you this. If you're watching the Knicks in January, got more corner threes. He's one of the best corner three shooters in the NBA. He was more efficient with the EFGs, and he just looked more comfortable on offense. Stats aside, he looked comfortable on the offensive end. And he showed signs of the offensive prowess that he has shown, in previous years with the Raptors. But he was at his best. He looked the most comfortable in January with Julius Randle. You got to bring Randle back. Here we go. We got Noah Minsky in here. Tyler Kolek is a stud. Absolutely, Noah. Absolutely, he's a stud. And if you missed it, you can rewind back on this live after I'm done here. Talked about Tyler Kolek and the news that he will be a part of the Knicks rotation. Talked about what the future is for Deuce McBride going forward. Because if Kolek's coming in, he's inevitably going to take away from some of the minutes that Deuce McBride was getting, especially in the playoffs, at the end of the regular season. If there's an injury, you know who's getting the brunt of those minutes, especially with the backcourt. It's Deuce McBride. But we'll see. We'll see what the Knicks decide to do. We're talking Julius Randle. We're talking the potential deals. A few guys that have been floated, one of them being Clint Capella. I don't know how that makes sense to bring in a backup center for your starting power forward, and then just slotting up OG Anunoby to the 4, Mikal to the 3, DiVincenzo then slots into that starting lineup, but then you lose some depth. I just don't know how much the Hawks want Julius Randle. So then you got to include a third team, and then at that point, what do the Hawks want for Clint Capella? Deuce McBride or picks. So now you're giving up picks just to include a third team in a deal for Clint Capella because the Hawks don't want Julius Randle. How much sense does that make? How much sense does it make to trade away Julius Randle when his value is at its lowest that it's been in a long time? Since probably the start of the regular season last year when Randle came back with the ankle injury, he was playing some of the worst basketball that we've ever seen Julius Randle play, and then he miraculously picked it back up and blamed it on the injury. Okay, fair, fine. I just need to see what you have with Julius Randle. I need to see him with the opportunity to prove himself in the playoffs. Does that make sense, though, with the window the Knicks have? I don't know. I don't know the fit with Randle and these guys. You lose Hartenstein, a major piece for your organization. You now rely heavily on Mitchell Robinson, a guy who has shown time and time again that he cannot stay on the floor. And now you're thinking about trading Julius Randle before you realistically see what you have. I don't know how much sense that makes. I really don't. And of course, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. There isn't any real reports out there saying the Knicks are looking to deal Julius Randle. Have they been in trade conversations, floating his name around? I'm sure they have. And that has been reported in the past. But where have we seen anything recently on this? We haven't. So, and listen, that means nothing, considering the fact that time and time again, when the Knicks make a trade, no one has seen anything coming. There was nothing on Mikal Bridges. There was nothing on OG Anunoby. I mean, people you got to give credit to my guy, Brian Galtzeiler on SiriusXM NBA Radio, who called that from the start. I did a video with him back in December. His main target, his main guy for the Knicks was OG Anunoby. So there's always some rumors going around about who the Knicks are necessarily interested in. But when they're looking to trade for one of those said guys, you don't hear about it until the actual move is made. I trust the Knicks front office to make the right decision. I trust them to, if they think Julius Randle is not the right guy for this organization, being the number 2 option on the team, then so be it. I respect the decision. Another guy that I've heard is Jared Allen. Again, this would have to be to be fair, this honestly would be perfect for the Cavs. What a fit that would be with Julius Randle, physicality, and taking a lot of that physical brunt away from Evan Mobley, who has shown yet again in big spots he can't handle the physicality. Julius Randle will be able to take the load of that. Jared Allen, you bring in a guy who has some offensive prowess. You slot him in over Mitch Robinson. Mitch Robinson goes back to the backup center and doesn't get that much time. And Mitchell Robinson's too good to be playing behind Jared Allen like that. And if you get Jared Allen, you put him and Mitch Robinson on the same team. If you play the Cavs, you can't exploit Jared Allen the way Mitchell Robinson exploited Jared Allen. Guys, I can't see it. I can't see Julius Randle getting dealt anytime soon. At least until the trade deadline, or maybe a couple of months into the season. How does that make any sense? How does it make sense? Make it make sense, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you all for coming in here today. We only had 7 people. It makes no sense to me. And screw you, Elon. He might be tipping the odds against me in terms of being able to actually get some viewers in here. I paid for Twitter Blue to have the ability to stream on Twitter because Elon's a grifter. He likes to take money from people. And now my first stream that I do, or second stream, or whatever it is, I have 7 viewers. So thank you, Elon. I think people would want to talk about this. I thought people would want to know about Tyler Kolek and Deuce McBride. I think people do. I think Elon is holding me back. That's my biggest op these days. It's not the Knicks anymore. Very exciting time. If you want to hear Sean Morash and myself talk Giants, talk Hard Knocks, new video coming out tomorrow. Sean is not able to do a video tonight, so no quick reaction pod. So we'll have to do something tomorrow. But I appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Stay tuned for Hard Knocks, our reaction on One Giant Step tomorrow. So for Bryce Gelman, I appreciate you all for tuning in. We'll talk to you all, if not later this week, early next week. Have a good one, guys.